If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? You'll fade the words I will choke.
Happy Top 5 Tuesday to everyone in the sports universe. It is June the 28th, 2022. This is the AM Drive on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and we are live. For Sammy Ashton, I am Michael Carbellis, and this is the dog days of sports, man. What's up, Sammy?
What's up, my man? Yeah, no more playoffs to look at. No more crazy intense events. All we got now is some baseball, women's NBA. I mean, it's not the premier time of year to watch sports, but definitely still a lot going on.
It was nice when there was a Stanley Cup and NBA Finals and NLL, and I was like, man, I'm tired every day. We're gonna get through it, man. We're gonna get through it.
Now I start focusing on baseball. Lots of stuff. There's something to bet every single day and during the summer. And
well, we don't even have a ticker right now. It's crazy. We'll be all right though.
All right.
Who's got the best morning show though? It's like everyone here, right? Yeah, the entire AM Drive family. In order to get the best merchandise, you got to go to amdrive.online. Not only is it the best, like good quality, it's also cheap. So cheap that we believe it's the cheapest one out there. So, if you find a podcast that's cheaper merchandise, we'll price match it because we're so confident that we'll even take a loss. It's not going to happen. We're winners over here. Go to amdrive.online for price match for our merchandise. Sammy, we got to get you a hoodie, man. Or, I guess, a t-shirt at this point.
Yeah. Well, here in Vegas, hoodies are about 3 months out of the year.
Yes, same. It's brutal. Okay, let's get into this. Hall of Fame defensive tackle Warren Sapp has not been in the media recently, but now he's shown up once again. He said of the Colin Kaepernick workout that happened a few weeks ago with the Raiders, I heard it was a disaster. I heard one of the worst workouts ever. So he made a good point because he was saying there was no video provided by the agent. All he heard was just these wonderful things, but then the Raiders didn't even sign Kaepernick. So it's like, what are we doing here? Well, the agent for Colin Kaepernick, Jeff Nally, says, I guess Warren didn't talk to the general manager or the head coach because he spoke to GM Dave Ziegler several times, and he said that they thought Cap was in great shape and threw the ball really well, and they then encouraged, this is the agent's words, encouraged any team to call him about the workout, and he would tell them the same. I understand what the popular narrative here is. I'm with Warren Sapp. There's no video. There's no deal. I think it's all crap at this point. I'm going with crap. I'm not for Kaepernick. I never have been. I'm definitely not for Warren. I'm just saying this bleeds Warren Sapp is correct. What about you?
I don't understand in a world where we have the technology on something as simple as a cell phone why there is no video of the workout.
Yep.
From what I understand, Kaepernick's been getting his workouts videotaped when he's been practicing with some of these NFL players, like just for random days. And so you would think that either the Raiders or somebody from Kaepernick's crew would want this on video. So I don't understand why there is no video of the workout. So in that sense, I kind of agree with Sapp. But I don't know that the Raiders were ever going to sign Kaepernick, even if he was a world beater. As much as I think he deserves a job in the NFL, if he still can play, the teams are still very hesitant with all the drama to sign him and all the bad press to sign him. So if the Raiders don't sign him, I don't know that anybody will, even if his workout was really good. But the no video evidence thing is definitely a little strange to me.
Is it also strange to you? The other glaring part of what his agent said was, oh yeah, the GM's going to encourage other GMs. If I knew this guy was this good, why would I then go out of my way to do that? That makes no sense to me. Like, he's that good, but he ain't good for our team. If I'm the other GM, I'm like, well, why isn't he good? Why didn't you guys sign him? If he's that good, come on, man.
Yeah, counting on the word of a different NFL GM to get your guy signed is a little bit of a strange. It's definitely a strange narrative to take.
So was it good? Yeah.
In the end, I think the Kaepernick story died pretty quickly after it lived pretty quickly, and I don't know that anybody's really talking about it at this point. I mean, I don't know why Sapp is even really talking about it at this point. He's not being signed by anybody. It's getting to the point where it's too late for him to get back into the league. It may have been too late a year ago, and so while I do think he probably should be in the league based on his abilities, I mean, it's not really a story I care much about.
Another thing I want to mention is a lot of times people go like, well, who are their sources? And like, to me, no one says this out of their butt. Like, why would you do that? You're a Hall of Fame defensive tackle. What does Warren Sapp have to gain from this? Like, seriously.
True. I have no idea.
Come on. And like, oh, he didn't tell the GM. How do you know he didn't tell the GM? Maybe that was his source. No one says their sources, so that way in future references, the source will tell them stuff again. Come on. This may not be fair, but sorry.
Yeah, I think Warren Sapp probably is more right than he is wrong here. I don't know why you would go out of your way to call out somebody like Kaepernick or the Raiders for the situation. It doesn't have the best look. Because like I said, the story was pretty much dead already, so I'm not sure why Sapp revived it just to trash it. So in that sense, I'm not really thinking that's the best path. But he's probably more right than he is wrong as well. So
yeah, fair point. I like it, Sammy. When we come back, we got a lot to get to, including top 5 teams in baseball, week 11 of the season, Kyrie's options, and he took the money. And also, we'll talk Antonio Brown interview. It's interesting stuff next on the AM Drive on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. We'll be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah. You want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
For the best in sports merchandise from your favorite teams, favorite players with daily deals, including free shipping on $24 or more, you got to go to MikeandAaronDrive.com and do what, Sammy?
You got to click the F. I just saw that commercial.
That's right. It's a great commercial. Love Fanatics. In order to shop every league, I'm telling you guys, go to MikeandAaronDrive.com, click the Fanatics logo. The entire store is open to your disposal and experience. So keep on shopping, keep on supporting us and your teams. For that, we thank you so much. It's really fun stuff over there. I'm telling you guys, one of the easiest ways to support us is if you want, hey, I want a jersey. Like I bought my Kyle Guy jersey. And I just went to MikeAndrew.com and clicked the Fanatics logo. It was that simple. Good stuff there.
You can get Kyrie Miami Heat jersey, right?
Oh, Lord have mercy. We're going to get to Kyrie, but man, I would never buy that. There's no way. I haven't even bought a Jimmy Butler jersey yet. I'm actually kind of happy after his 3-point shot that he took. So whatever. Oh. Top 5 baseball teams. Sammy, would you like to go first or me?
I can go first.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Let me pull my thing back up.
This is our top 5 Tuesday, baby.
I know. So I've had the same 4 teams in some order in my top 5. My number 5 spot seems to be this like rotating disc of teams, and I feel like I've added a new team almost every single week. So I'm gonna do the same thing again this week. Number 1 will be the Yankees again. They're still the best team in the league. They're still playing the best. Their run differential is actually finally caught up to the Dodgers now. I feel like they have bona fide number 1 team, huge favorite to make the World Series, no questions asked out of the American League. Number 2, still the Mets, still playing the best, still have a great team. Pitching staff still needs to get healthy. They had, I think, at one point 4 of their 5 starters were on the IL or going to the IL, and so once they get their pitching staff back, they may be the best team in baseball, but we still have not seen them fully healthy. Number 3 is the trash can banging Houston Astros. After tough series this week, they've still managed to be a winning team over the last 10. Still playing good ball. We all love them. We all hate them. They're still a good team. And one thing I thought that was interesting about that is the top 3 teams in baseball's pitching are the Yankees, the Astros, and my number 4 team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Those are the top 3 pitching staffs in baseball, and they're also the top 4 teams in league. So pitching still wins in baseball, which is why I feel like it's easy to put these top 4 teams that way. The Mets aren't on the top 5, but they're not far off, and they're also really banged up pitching-wise.
Banging bastards, huh?
Sorry?
Banging bastards, huh?
Yeah. For number 5, last week I had the Braves. Week before I had the Padres. I've had a few different teams. This week I'm going to go back to a team I haven't had in there in a while, which is the Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee Brewers, I bet them before the season started to win the World Series. I bet them because of their pitching. Their pitching has not shown up nearly the way I thought it was going to, but it's gotten better, and they've gotten better along the way. They still have an MVP candidate in Christian Yelich. They still have an ace in Woodruff and Burns. This is a team that I think that can still come together and be a top 2 team if they were to get completely going, and they haven't yet this year. But I'll put them back in my top 5 just to kind of keep that rotating 5th spot going. But yeah, baseball, I'm going to start focusing a lot more on baseball, watching a lot more games now that other sports are down. So I'll have a little bit more to add to this in weeks coming.
Brewers are a plus 18 run differential, but I do understand your narrative of like there's really no 5th best team. It's all like it's 4 and then who else?
Yeah, it's 4. Exactly. 4 and then whoever's playing the best, I think, kind of fits that 5th spot.
Right. I'll go 1 to 5 as well, and I also have an honorable mention for my 5th spot because it is so open. Number 1 is the Yankees. This is their 3rd consecutive week at number 1. They are now 20 runs clear of the Dodgers, who are 2nd in run differential. They're 148. The Yankees are good. Aaron Judge has hit 28 home runs, including a walk-off the other night. Fantastic. And they also won a very close series against the Astros. Number 2, the New York Mets. This is their 11th week in the top 5, though still there every single week. They're at plus 67 run differential. So Mets are not just good now, they're pretty much dominating again because that's the 4th best run differential in the MLB. And you never thought you'd see from the Mets. At first, it was just a good record. This team is for real, man. This team, we got to give them their props. Number 3, the trash can banging bastards, the Astros. This is their highest rank yet for me. They're at plus 62. The reason they jumped the number 4 team, the Dodgers, is because the Astros, like I said, played the Yankees well. It was a very competitive series. I was impressed with what they did. And although the Yankees got the better of them, it still shows that they were there for the long run.
Well, they split that series, Mike, 2-2.
Oh, there you go. Even better. So it makes my point even more. Number 4, the Dodgers. This is their lowest rank yet. Despite the plus 128, they've met some injuries, and now it's like I'm just kind of, wearing down on them. But hey, they're still strongly at number 4. There really is no chance of them falling at number 5 anytime soon. Number 5, who is it? Is it the Cardinals, who are plus 69 for the third best in baseball? No, that's my honorable mention. My number 5 team is the Padres at plus 64. And the reason they get the nod, despite going 4-6 in their last 10, they're 24-14 on the road. And that, to me, is where I get the edge. When the run differential is that close together, which means they're pretty much having the same outcomes, I'm going to go with the road team because I feel like that's the better team. Anybody can win at home, but can you win on the road? That's the key question, and I'll take that. The Padres at number 5 over the Cardinals.
When I pulled up the pitching stats, the Padres were number 5 for best pitching staff in baseball right now. So they are definitely belong in that conversation.
Love it. Let's get to this. Kyrie Irving's options, or shall I say option. There was speculation that Kyrie Irving was going to take the $6 million deal with the Lakers, but he might ask himself, that was stupid of me to think about. $39.5 million was the option. And I know there was the 16 offer that he wanted, which they said still could happen if he still doesn't like the organization. But he was going to take this money. Everyone knew that was kind of going to be the thing. It's like even before the offseason even started, Kyrie, he's not going to lose out in $40 million, man. Let's just be real. Why would you do that? That'd be stupid. So this gets a lot uglier now. Sammy, are you more doubting that Kyrie leaves the Nets? Because I still believe he's going to bounce. I just think it becomes a lot harder for the Nets to make this happen.
Well, it becomes a sign and trade versus just a mid-level exemption, but it's still possible, but I don't think that makes the Lakers an easy trade destination. I think he can still get trade, just not necessarily to the Lakers.
I'm telling you, the Clippers are up there, man.
Yep, the Clippers would be a good choice. There are a few teams who can still afford him and give them the right kind of draft capital or player capital to trade for him. The Lakers don't. They don't have much draft capital left at this point.
Yeah, I was telling people about that. I'm like, what are the Lakers going to trade? Austin Reeves, Taylor Horton Tucker in a next year's second round pick. No one's going to take that.
I want to say it was either Nick Wright or Colin Cowherd who said they should trade Anthony Davis for him, which is an interesting move.
I brought that up too. I ain't gonna lie. I brought it up last week. I was like, AD's been hurt, man. Like, what do you want to win now, or do you want to win for the future? I know LeBron's not going to get traded, so I'd be dumb to even do that because LeBron obviously is on the floor. Kyrie for AD, man, that'd be up to LeBron.
Yeah, and I think the money would match up pretty well too, which is the one way that the Lakers can still get Kyrie. It basically comes down to who does, LeBron was the person who decided to turn the league into, this is where I want to play and this is who I want to play with. And if LeBron says he wants to play with Kyrie over Anthony Davis, my guess is that the Buss family and the GM of the Lakers will make that happen. That's what he does.
Here's the only problem with that working out basketball-wise, Sammy, is I feel like they already don't have much of a big man with Anthony Davis there because he's allergic to playing the number 5. But people don't understand Anthony Davis grew up as a guard. And AD will always want to be more of an open player than he is like a beating and banging, dirty work inside kind of guy. So Kyrie and LeBron works if you have a Tristan Thompson or a Kevin Love inside who actually wants to work hard. But if you trade away AD, man, and it's like you said, similar contract stuff, I don't know how that's going to work. You're going to have to outshoot teams, and I don't know if they can do that too much.
Yeah. Well, I think in the sign and trade, they would probably go after one of Brooklyn's big men as well. They would trade AD and they would give up,
might get Nick Claxton out of it.
Sorry?
Might get Nick Claxton.
Yeah, exactly. Get somebody. I don't know if they would give up Nick Claxton, but there's some other big men they have that play just 10 minutes a night or whatever. You get one of those bangers and clangers kind of down low.
They have DeAndre Jordan, or is he with the Sixers?
Yeah, somebody like that. It's a
Right.
mid-level veteran. I'm not familiar with the Brooklyn roster at this point,
Right.
but yeah, I'm sure they have somebody that they can throw into a deal to give the Lakers a little bit more size, because they won't need him now if they get Anthony Davis anyway. So, yeah, I can see that happening.
People want it to happen because of nostalgia, but he's going to the Clippers.
I think
just have a feeling. Huh?
I think he just stays in Brooklyn.
You think so? You think the Nets want that? Because I think they're kind of like gonna. They gave him his option because they have no choice. But it's like, Kyrie, you sure you don't want to leave the team? Are you sure about that?
I don't know if Kyrie has no trade clause or if they have the right to just trade him whenever they want for whomever they want. But like Colin Kaepernick, but not at the same level, Kyrie's a headache. And I don't know that a lot of teams are really like jumping through hoops to give up a lot to get him. I don't know that the vaccination thing will be an issue coming up next season, but he's been more than a headache in other situations as well. He's just not a good teammate, not a good player to play with. If you're from the organizational standpoint, on the court, he's fine.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, I don't know that a lot of teams are really going to be bending over backwards to get him.
You saw the news that like the Lakers are the only team interested right now, right?
Yes.
That is alarming if I'm Kyrie Irving. I'm like, bro, as good as I am, nobody's bigger than basketball. Nobody's bigger than the logo. I know people say, well, LeBron James. If LeBron pulled the crap Kyrie's been pulling the last few years, there'll be a lot of sourpusses right now in the league.
That's true. I mean, I don't know that Kyrie cares. Kyrie's getting his money.
I know.
He's getting paid. And then when he becomes an unrestricted free agent next year, if they don't re-sign him again, somebody will sign him for nothing, right? Somebody will sign him off of free agency without having to give anything up for a really decent contract. So I don't think Kyrie cares too much. He already shows that basketball is not the most important thing to him when he became a social justice warrior. So I don't know that he really cares that nobody is looking to trade for him.
Fair enough, man. But that to me, as a person who understands his talent, that is crazy. That's a story.
I mean, what does Kyrie have left? I mean, I don't think Kyrie's the Kobe Bryant level of competitiveness, right? So here's a guy who got paid, got to play where he wanted to play with, got to play with who he wanted to play with. He won a championship. I don't know that he has that competitive drive to say he needs to be considered the greatest. I think he kind of rides off into the sunset saying he had a good career and he's happy with his life.
Oh, yeah, it's fair point for him. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Lordy. I told people, I love the Miami Heat fans that try to speculate it. I'm like, guys, he doesn't play defense. He's not a willing passer. I knew they were going to. Why would they want that? Come on.
He played real well with Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland wins a championship without him. So, I mean, you can't knock the guy's talent. But, yeah, I don't know if I'd want him on my team either.
I guess the fact that Kevin Durant is there, I leave it here. I feel like they're saying Kevin Durant might force his way. I don't think he wants to play with Kyrie anymore.
I mean, maybe that wasn't that the whole reason he went there, right? Didn't they pick to play with each other?
Yeah. That's rough. Rough stuff there.
NBA will be fun in about 4 more months.
Right. Antonio Brown, speaking of head cases, versus the Steelers. So from 2017 or 20, I think it was 2017, Antonio Brown had a practice scuffle. Well, now we know what happened per AB and per Ryan Clark. The two sat down on the Pivots, which is a pretty good podcast. I've watched it a few times and listened to it, obviously. And Antonio Brown said, and Ryan Clark did not dispute this part of it, AB had just gotten paid like $40 million. So he went to practice that day. Kudos to AB. The first rep of wide receiver versus cornerback drills, the cornerback slaps AB in the head and no one calls anything. And AB's like, yo, what the crap? So AB said, okay. So he slaps the cornerback in the head back, and then the next route scores a touchdown. Apparently, 75-year-old Dick LeBeau ends up, going like, yo, what the crap? Like, what was that, bro? And AB says, yo, I'm going to, mess you up. Basically threatening a 75-year-old legend. So he's not just old, he's also a legend in Steelers lore. So you get it. So Ryan Clark, who's the kind of team leader, goes over there and says, yo, man, what happened? And then Ryan Clark does bring up the money. But to Ryan Clark's point, it wasn't about the money. That's just what he said, because he had said before he's going to change when y'all give him the money. And Ryan Clark said in the interview, I was right. So AB is saying, oh, it's all about money. That's the only reason the team got mad at me. And Ryan Clark's saying, no, dude, you're trying to be bigger than the Steelers, and that's not what this was about. The Steelers are an awesome organization. And now even Mike Tomlin has gone out and said, yeah, that's not going to happen when asked if Antonio Brown will be able to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm feeling Mike Tomlin's not the only one who thinks that. Sammy, AB may not have a job next year because of the stuff he's been saying. He is all about himself, and it's becoming alarmingly more clear. The more we hear him talk, he doesn't care about anybody but himself. And they don't like Colin Kaepernick. They may not like AB for different reasons.
I mean, I don't think it's what AB says. I think it's what AB's done. That's why he doesn't have a job. I mean, the guy basically pulled off a striptease walking off the field in the middle of a game to end his career. And I don't know that any team really wants that kind of headache, even with his immense talent. And to Ryan Clark and AB's point about the money, Antonio Brown signed a $40-something million contract, played it out, and then got re-signed for a $60 million contract and got traded in the first couple of years. So I don't know if the money is a big determining factor for AB's change of character. What I will say is I've been saying for years that his career basically ended when Vontaze Burfict took his head off in that playoff game, and the dude's really never been the same ever since. He kind of lost his mind. And I don't know if that incident took place before or after Vontaze Burfict's hit, but since that point, the guy's just been a complete diva, out of his bird, basically. And so I could see him going a little bit crazy on the sidelines during a practice. Since he's been nuts ever since. I mean, I feel terrible for the guy because that hit was illegal and terrible and very graphic. But yeah, it seemed like that was the turning point for him.
I hate your shirt today, by the way. I'm kidding. But I will say that as much as I wanted to believe that, I've done research on Antonio Brown. I've also talked to my buddy Chris, who has followed AB since he was in Central Michigan. AB apparently has always been a head case, and the Steelers kept it under wraps until recently. Apparently he had to transfer schools, like from one place to Central Michigan, got suspended. The reason he was drafted in the 6th round is apparently because he was such a head case, but no one just knew about it back then. So apparently, I'm not saying Vontaze Burfict did not make it worse, because I even got blocked on Twitter randomly by Vontaze Burfict after I made a podcast condemning him to hell. But I thought that was random that happened. And I'll always say that to my grave, that I was so proud of that. But I find it interesting that Antonio Brown blames money. Well, these guys like, well, nobody cares. I don't care if you're going to make $100 million more than I do. I don't care. That does have to have some level of responsibility behind it. I don't care. Be my teammate, bro. Make your money out. They were probably proud of that dude. But when you become some self-centered jerk, I can't forgive you, man.
Yeah, he's been look. He signed that contract with the Steelers, then got traded away to Oakland, and within like 2 months of getting traded away, he got cut by the Raiders. And if you can't make it on a Raiders squad that's had all kinds of head cases, you know you have something going on with your personality. Then he goes over to New England, tries to play with Tom Brady and has issues there. Goes over to the Bucks, has issues there. I mean, at some point when you look in the mirror and say it's me, right? It's not everybody else, it's not the money, it's just me. And he's had some issues now for quite a while. The Bucks won a Super Bowl with him and they don't want him back. Steelers played real well with him. They don't want him back. I don't think that anybody wants him, to be honest.
That's crazy.
And it sucks, too, because he's one of the great receivers of our generation, right? His 6-year stint was one of the greatest, unbelievable 6-year stints we've ever seen from a receiver standpoint. I mean, it's in the Moss, Calvin Johnson level of quality for a receiver. And we don't talk about him in those same breaths because of how much of a head case he is. So that's unfortunate because he did put up the numbers. And he did have a great NFL career.
It's incredible. Tomorrow's hump day, and I'm excited for that once again. There's no telling what we'll find out tomorrow. We might find more about Deshaun Watson tomorrow.
No, we might. That case is supposed to be heard by the NFL today. I don't know if they'll rule quite yet. The arbitrator might come back. I think it might take a day or two for her to come back with a official ruling, but I'm sure there'll be leaks. There's always leaks.
I love them. Gotta love it. Follow AM Drive at AM Drive TV on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube at AM Drive with Mike and Aaron. Thanks so much for tuning in. For Sammy, I'm Mike. Drive safe. We'll see you tomorrow.